Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. These people are truly insufferable, folks. They are so disconnected, so out of touch. The White House Correspondents' Dinner is back, and the left-wing media is trying to make it seem as if it was a smashing success for Joe Biden and other comedians, but I think I'm speaking for most people, at least most people who don't have their head in their behind. It was one of the most cringe viewing experiences I've had in a very, very long time. And the concept that I want to stick to is out of touch, tone deaf, whatever you want to call it. What these people seem to not understand these days is that Americans are walking away from this nonsense. The same way the Grammys, Oscars, Golden Globes, I don't even know half the names of these shows, or these ceremonies and events, continue to tank and crater into complete irrelevance in their ratings. The White House Correspondents' Dinner is joining the same garbage category. It's a bunch of rich, elitist, liberal Democrats, one massive left-wing circle jerk, and it just comes off as cringe, and most importantly, very poorly timed. I want to cover this train wreck of a White House Correspondents' Dinner. Like I said, the left-wing media, all these articles that are coming out are praising this event as just such an incredible success for Joe Biden. Well, let's hit him with a healthy dose of reality, because it was anything but. We got some stuff to get into, but of course, before we get into any of it, please make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share the video as much as possible. We are still shadow banned by the YouTube algorithm, hidden from non-subscribed viewers. And with that out of the way, let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so Brian Stelter takes to Twitter and writes, "Moment of the night? Lots of applause in the room as Biden says, American democracy is not a reality show." Now I just wanted to feature that comment because people like Brian Stelter are the exact type of media hacks who have turned American politics into a reality show. And he says that after an event filled with hundreds of left-wing Democrats, in my view, essentially making a mockery of American democracy. But again, from the left-wing perspective, they're just praising it. Media runs this piece, Joe Biden's 9 best jokes from the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And here are some of the 9 incredible jokes. Joe Biden's jokes, well, what they really mean, are jokes that were written for Joe Biden that Joe Biden's delivering. And let's just say they were lackluster to say the least. Here's a great one.
At the same time, a lot of people say the Republican Party is too extreme, too divisive, too controlled by one person. They say that's not your father's Republican Party. Ronald Reagan said, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear this wall down." Today's Republicans say, "Tear down Mickey Mouse's house." And pretty soon they'll be storming Cinderella's castle, you can be sure of it.
Oh, so funny. That was just hilarious. What a smashing success. And here's Brian Stelter claiming that American politics or American democracy isn't a reality show. I mean, maybe it's not a reality show, but it's certainly a very cringe, complete joke of a spectacle. And once again, Joe Biden, the great unifier, the guy who ran on uniting the country back together again, being a president not just for Democrats but also Republicans, with his next line of jokes.
It's the first time the president attended this dinner in 6 years. It's understandable. We had a horrible plague, followed by 2 years of COVID.
It's the first time a president attended this dinner in 6 years. It's understandable. We had a horrible plague followed by 2 years of the coup, implying that Donald Trump was the plague before the coup. I find that really interesting. And while I get it's a joke, usually jokes have to be grounded in some sort of reality. Yes, Donald Trump was the horrible plague that affected the country in such terrible plague-like ways. My immediate response to any left-winger is, name literally anything, like just one thing, that's better under Biden than it was under Donald Trump. 4 years of Donald Trump, I mean, we saw a record economy. My stock portfolio and my retirement fund was booming, I mean, making such incredible profits. And after a year and a half of Joe Biden, all the gains wiped away by inflation and the increased cost of living, not to mention the portfolio itself is declining. If Donald Trump was the plague, then please bring on the locust swarm. But once again, let's get back on topic. Joe Biden, bring on the comedy. Some absolutely hilarious stuff, folks.
Just imagine if my predecessor came to this dinner this year. Now that would really have been a real coup if that occurred.
Wow, hilarious. Honestly, the two only jokes that probably won't even get a chuckle out of you, but that I guess are just acceptable, just kind of like pass, were these two.
I'm really excited to be here tonight with the only group of Americans with a lower approval rating than I have. But Republicans seem to support one fella some guy named Brandon. He's having a really good year, and I'm kind of happy for him.
A little bit of self-deprecating humor, and really that's the only funny thing. I mean, let's talk about the timing. Donald Trump's not relevant right now, but of course, they just had to go the lazy route and just go after Donald Trump over and over again. What's relevant and what's actually funny is this clown who's currently serving as the President of the United States, and his track record of complete incompetence and failure. That would have been funny. There's a whole lot of jokes that would have actually been funny, but of course it's all off limits. Trevor Noah hit Joe Biden with one joke, and really it was just the Biden administration.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you. Please be careful leaving tonight. We all know this administration doesn't handle evacuations well. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much.
Of course, in relation to the Afghanistan withdrawal, and honestly, the joke was met with contempt. Like we've seen in the world of woke mainstream comedy, it can only go in one direction, and that's why this whole thing is a joke. The whole thing is an event filled with rich, elitist, pompous, delusional Democrats attacking Donald Trump and attacking Republicans. That's not funny, that's lazy, and that's cringe. Here's another example.
They don't. I think ever since you've come into office, things are really looking up. Gas is up, rent is up, food is up, everything.
And while of course there's some laughs, the crowd is not in an uproar like when a Donald Trump joke is made, and you could sense discomfort in the crowd, and you can tell that some people are even snarling. The absolute audacity of these people to be making these jokes and going after Republicans and Joe Biden's predecessor, implying that things were worse then than they are now, just goes to show how totally tone deaf and out of touch these people really are. And when Joe Biden said earlier that it's the first time a president has attended this thing in the last 6 years, and he said that it's understandable, well, he was right, except for the wrong reasons. It's totally understandable. Who in their right mind would want to participate in this absolutely cringe event? To be laughing and joking and taking the stance of not only moral superiority but also performance superiority, with all the scandal revolving around this White House and this president and the awful track record on top of it. I mean, it's just a slap in the face to most Americans. But of course, the biggest joke of all when Joe Biden said,
"But I'm not worried about the midterms. I'm not worried about them. We may end up with more partisan gridlock, but I'm confident we can work it out during my remaining 6 years in the presidency."
Joe Biden implying he has 6 more years as president is probably the funniest thing I've heard all year. This guy is done, and no amount of liberal Hollywood elitist, New York elitist circle jerk is ever going to change that. This presidency is done, failed, over, game over, an absolute lame duck, and the American voter is going to be the one who gets the last laugh. That's what I got for you guys, though. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share this video as much as possible. We are still shadow banned by the YouTube algorithm, hidden from non-subscribed viewers. I'm going to get back to work. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.